Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at day 7 of our 3rd grade math review. Remember that we are, as always, using the 2017 STAR test. And so today we're going to be looking at some multiplication and division problems. So we look at this number 9 on the 2017 STAR test. Gina had 42 mushrooms to put into 6 salads. She wants to put the same number of mushrooms into each salad. So this same number, that's going to give me my clue that I'm dealing with equal groups, or sometimes we call them equal shares. Either way you look at it, that's going to give us our biggest clue that we're dealing with division, because division only works if you put the same number into each group. So I've got 6 salads. I'm just going to draw 6 salad bowls here, and I need to take my 42 mushrooms, I need to split them up evenly into each of these 6. So what I could do is I could write some equations, see if I can find something I know based on fact families. So remember, fact families have the same digits or the same numbers, and they are written with multiplication. In division, you've got 2 multiplication and you've got 2 division. So right now, all I know is 42 and 6. I don't know how much goes in each bowl. But with fact families, you can switch your quotient and your dividend. And you can also write them as multiplication facts. You can say 6 times that missing number is going to be 42, or that missing number times 6 is 42. Obviously, in 3rd grade, by the end of the year, we need to be able to recognize this as a multiplication fact, and we know what that missing number is. But if not, you can always list it out. And you can skip count by 6s up to 42, but you should at this point know that it's 7. 6 times 7 is going to go into 42. So if I were to put 7 into these bowls here, then which of these strip diagrams look the most like this? And obviously A and B are tricky. They're kind of close, but if you add up, these strip diagrams mean you can add all of these up, right? This is 6 groups of 7. Well, this actually equals my answer of 42 mushrooms. So I'm going to want A. If you actually add up all of your 6s, you are going to not get 42. You're going to get 36. 6 groups of 6 is 36. Now, if I were to add up all of these 42s, that's going to get me quite a bit. Let me see. That's going to be 4, 8, 12, 240. That's going to be 252. Way too much. Now, I see the 7s. And I know 7 is my missing number. Let's see what they did wrong here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They did 7 bowls of 7. So they gave you the right one. So 7 times 7, it's going to get you 49. So that's not going to get what you need to B, C, or D. Your answer here is going to be A. So let's look at our second problem for the day. Number 21 on the 2017 STAR test. A classroom currently contains 6 rows of chairs with 5 chairs per row. On parents' night, the classroom has twice as many chairs. Ooh, this is a tricky one. You notice that all of your answers have 6, 5, and 2. The question is are you adding them, subtracting them, multiplying them? How do you represent this? Well, I'm just going to draw 6 rows. So these can be my 6 rows. Always draw a picture if you get stuck. And each of these have 5 chairs. So I'm just going to do like this, and each of these spaces, not the lines, the spaces is going to represent a chair. So I've got 5 chairs per row. So if I want, I could skip count. I've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I've got 30. And then on parents' night, this is where it gets tricky. Twice. So you double it. You take the exact same and you just clear out room. And you do the same thing over here. You put 5 chairs on each row. So now your 30 is going to be doubled up to 60. And so we get another 30, and so that is going to make 60, because that's what twice means. So which number sentence can be used to find the number of chairs on parents' night? Well, 6 plus 5 plus 2, that is not going to be enough. That's going to be 13. We already started with more than that. So 6 times 5 times 2, well, that's what I did. I did 6 times 5 is 30. Then I multiplied 30 by 2 to double it to get 60. So that's going to be our answer. Let's see what these other ones look like. You got 6 times 5, so that's what we did. We got our 30. Oh, but then they cut it in half. They divided it by 2. So that ends up with 15, much too small. So that's no good. And then 6 plus 5 times 2. This is tricky because you're going to learn in 5th grade an order of operations. You don't always go left to right. You start with multiplication or division of those first. So you have 10, and then you're going to add this 6. That's going to get 16. So that's kind of strange, but that's something you don't deal with until 5th grade. So the answer is going to be B. You know you have to do 6 times 5. I would obviously suggest drawing a picture whenever you get a chance. So let's look at our final one today. We are going to be looking at number 23. So Scott has 28 cars to put onto 4 shelves. He wants to put the same number of cars. Remember this from the first problem we looked at today. This is your equal groups or your equal shares, which means if we're looking at the same number of cars on each shelf, that means we're looking at division. How many cars should he put on each shelf? Well, I'm going to take a picture here. I'm going to say 4 shelves, and I've got to put 28 on each, and I've got to split them up like this. So I'm going to take my 28, divide them evenly into 4 shelves, and that's going to get me my missing number. So if I don't know that, maybe I know 28 divided by something is going to equal 4. Or, once again, fact family. Let's see if we can get a related sentence. Something times 4 equals 28, or 4 times something equals 28. So if you don't know the division fact, you should be able to pick up the multiplication fact. That's going to be 7. So if I were to take 7, 14, 21, 28, that works. And so we have here, you notice that it's a division problem, but the answer is C7, and then they give you the related multiplication fact. So remember, if you don't know a division fact, you can always think of it as a multiplication fact. So that's it for day 7. If you would like to learn more about day 8, please check out my website at aarondaffern.com.